welcome to our fourth installment of our webinar series on driving growth and success through strategic marketing efforts. On behalf of Flocksy, I'm Sarah Fitzgerald, and I'll be your host for this session. Today's topic is growth strategies, blending paid, organic, and loyalty for a winning formula. In an ever-evolving market, the ability to integrate different marketing strategies such as paid, advertising, organic growth, and customer loyalty can make a difference in achieving sustainable success. Today's session will dive deep into how these approaches can complement each other to maximize reach, drive engagement, and foster long-term relationships. Before we jump into our discussion, I'd like to point out that our Q&A is open, and you are free to pop in any questions you may have at any point during this session. The ones we don't get to will get answered on LinkedIn. So be sure to follow our accounts, Flocksy and Finch, on LinkedIn to see the responses to those questions. Now, let's meet our panel of experts. DJ, can you please introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about your company?
Good morning, Sarah. Thank you. Welcome, everybody. Yes, absolutely. My name is DJ, or Dwayne Sprague. I've been in marketing, advertising, and PR for over 35 years. Recently co-authored a book, can't see it, reputationking.com.
In front of you. There you go.
And you can get a free copy of that at reputationking.com. The book is really all about how to create and optimize your online reputation for e-commerce. So I'm CMO of Shopper Approved, and that's my story.
Amazing. Love the book promo in there. Very smart. I also love on my screen that you and George are both purple and me and Chirag are both blue right now. So it looks perfectly color coordinated. I don't know if anyone else is seeing that. Now I'm going to move to Chirag. Please tell us a little bit about yourself and your company.
Hello, everybody. Good morning. I'm Chirag from India, CEO and founder of fitspace.io, the SaaS platform that allows you to capture, collect any sort of feeds from internet. You manage that, and then you use that user-generated content for your marketing purpose. DJ and I kind of sort of friends immediately after knowing what is FeedSpace, as you all can understand. We complement to each other, and our customers can use the blog both platforms. And that's all about me. I'm excited to share my knowledge and learning here.
We're excited to have you. And now I'm moving to someone I know very well, George Ryan. Please introduce yourself and tell us a little about your company.
Hey, everybody. I'm glad to be here. My name is George Ryan. I am one of the founders and the CMO of Flocksy. At Flocksy, we provide you with a team of incredibly talented video editors, graphic designers, motion graphic designers, copywriters, and more for a flat monthly fee. Flocksy was founded in 2016. I've been starting companies. I've been heavily into online marketing for the past couple decades. Really happy to be a panelist for this session. I was in one a couple weeks ago. It went awesome. I'm looking forward to sharing insights, learning some new tips and tricks.
Yes, and we our fourth panelist will be joining us shortly, I believe, Nikita. He's CEO of Aspect. So we're hoping to have him pop on in a little bit. Once he gets here, I'll have him introduce himself. And I also want to move on to something very exciting. For our audience, we have a poll. So I'm going to ask whoever is in attendance to vote on this poll when it pops up on the screen. And then we will share those results on our LinkedIn and in our upcoming ebook. Let me pop the poll up on the screen. Boop. So I'll give you about 30 seconds to vote. Which of the following strategies do you believe will have the biggest impact on your company's growth in the next 12 months? Something went on with the editing there. There's a question mark in the middle of the sentence. Ignore that and go ahead and vote, please. I'm excited to see what you think will have the biggest impact on your company's growth in the next 12 months. Ooh, we have a straightaway winner in organic content marketing. Right up my alley right there. SEO, social media, that is my bread and butter. So I am certainly loving that topic right there. You have about 10 more seconds to get your vote in. Awesome. Oh, we have some straggling votes. Wow. Organic content marketing seems to be the winner. I hope you can all see the results there. If not, we will put them on our LinkedIn, so you will see them there. Boop. Okay, Now to the exciting bit. I get to ask our lovely panelists some very amazing questions, and you get to learn from their wonderful expertise. The first question I have is actually for all of you. So I encourage you all to respond to this one as you see fit. I'm going to start with DJ, who's just right in the corner of my screen here. He's caught my eye. But I'd love to hear from all of you about this one. What strategies do you personally employ to ensure that the organic side of marketing works in harmony with the paid campaigns that drive long-term brand growth? It is a very important question. I would love to hear what you have to say.
That's a setup. Honestly, so that's what it really is. That's why I wrote the book, right?
Yes.
Because when you do paid and organic marketing, and I noticed in the poll, organic was leading out. That's wonderful. Everybody goes to Google and they do a search, right, for a solution, a cure to their problem, or an inquiry around something that's they're curious about. Well, ultimately, what's going to drive traffic to your website is either paid or organic search results. And we know statistically it's going to be those top 5 search results. We know also that the top 5 organic search results get more than the top paid search results. Most people like organic. So if you don't show up in those organic search results with a positive reputation, i.e. review stars in your organic and paid search results, your Google ads, and your organic search results for your brand and your products, then people aren't confident in your brand. It's social proof. People want to see social proof, right? Who else has raised their hand and said, I like this brand. I believe in this brand. I believe in this product. And that's what social proof is all about. They want to see that a lot of people have bought it and a lot of people have said, I like this brand. I like this product. And that's why reputation management is so critical, both in paid and organic search results. You have to show up on page 1, ideally in the top 5 search results, ideally even there, the top 3 or the featured snippet. If you can gain those positions, then obviously you're going to dominate the vast majority of the traffic, paid and organic. So that would be my go-to strategy every single time. If you're not managing your reputation and your review stars and your social proof, then people just simply aren't going to have confidence to click and to convert.
I could not agree more with the social. I think social proof in today's age is more important than ever, especially with all these emerging social medias becoming search engines for the younger generations. Oh, there he is. Nikita has joined us. Hello. Nikita, I'm going to have you introduce yourself in just a moment so you can get yourself sorted here. I'm happy to have you. George, I would love to hear your response because I know you love talking about reviews and we could probably spend hours talking about that. So I know you have something to say about DJ's comments.
Yeah, so I full-heartedly second everything DJ just said. I think reputation management's really important. And above and beyond that too, I think that making sure that the service you're providing is something people really love so that all of the reviews that you get, the feedback that you get that people see is accurate. It's only so good if, you're cherry picking, putting stuff up there. It should be where anyone that goes and leaves a review, it is an accurate depiction of your service. And if you do get a negative review, it should be about something that you don't do or the customer misunderstood something, in which case you do have to go improve your pitch. You have to make sure that the customers that are signing up understand what it is that you are selling, what they're purchasing. Something that I like to lean into heavily is SEO. Because that is very organic and you can get feedback as to the what your users are looking for from that in a way that you can't always get from paid advertising. You're casting a really wide net with paid advertising. They're very expensive. You do want to drill down on exactly what they're looking for, what people are looking for. But when you do SEO, as long as the content that you have lines up with what you're providing, you can look at all the search terms that people are coming in for. You can see which people are sticking around based on the links they came from, on the terms they searched for, and you can then funnel that right over into your paid search terms to really drill down on exactly what people are looking for. And there's a lot less spend, there's a lot less waste, and you also aren't bringing people in doing demos, having people place orders that aren't actually your ideal customer. So we focus heavily on the SEO side of things. That is a long-term play. I encourage anybody that hasn't gotten started on to get started right away. It can take a while for that to ramp up, but once the feedback starts coming in from that, it's very valuable.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. I mean, of course, I agree with that as our strategy at Flocksy. So I'm on board with that, and I agree totally. Chirag, do you have anything to add to this? I'm sure you do to this conversation.
Absolutely. Like, I mean, most of the participants here, they are interested to know this marketing thing to connect and put a synergy. I'll start with this profound question on this part, which is how can you beat the Ronaldo, right? I mean, you immediately start thinking that, okay, I'll be better in a football and all that, but that's a wrong strategy because you can beat the Ronaldo in cooking. You can beat the
Hmm.
Ronaldo in chess play. So if you clear your position really well, like for what reason you exist in the market, and then you double down on that, like are people aware about this problem, or it is something that we want to make them aware about, right? If
Yeah.
they are aware about it, just go with the paid advertisements. Just to tell them, hey, here is your pain point, go check it out, the solution already there. And as people are aware about their problem, there is a high chance they click on it, boom, 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 buy it, right?
Hmm.
Now
Right.
for the organic thing, it's more about like I was having a conversation with George a few months ago about SEO and ads, and I used to say that ads are more like drugs, gives you instant kicks, but you cannot be sustainable on that part, right? You
Yeah.
cannot keep on pouring the money, money, money. So at
Hmm.
some point, or I would say from the beginning, you start having these two horses going on where you pump it up with the ads, and you also start the organic thing because organic takes time, SEO takes time.
Yeah.
And so use the SEO and the organic to in the technical term they say like high volume low intent. At least try to expand your market with that, because most of the times people just don't know that, okay, this is a big problem in the world, but they are their own world and they have no idea that this is a
Right.
problem with them as well. So use organic for that purpose.
Yeah. I love your analogies there. That was amazing. Really nice. And last but not least, Nikita, can you please introduce yourself? Tell us a little bit about your company, and then if you have something to add about how you make organic marketing and paid advertising work together, that would be amazing as well.
Yeah, of course. Pleasure to be on. My name is Nikita, and I'm the CEO and founder of Aspect, and we help with retention, community building through email and SMS. And
Hmm.
just as a preface, I have been in this room since the recording started.
Oh,
I've just been troubleshooting because I was set in as an attendee rather than a speaker. But
oh
yeah,
no.
well, we got it cleared up thanks to George. And yeah, just to
Yay.
add on to your question and to everyone else, uh, the best way that we've seen paid ads and organic work really the best is through community building and having a shared goal with the brand or the business that you're trying to promote.
Yeah.
Basically, thinking in the customer's best interest. So, for example, like if you're trying to promote like your food and beverage business or your food and beverage brand, the best way that we've seen like in that area is like sharing recipes or sharing activities that you can do with your family members, and
Hmm.
sharing like activities you can do with your friends, because that builds a better community for yourself, which in turn leads back to the product that you're trying to sell.
Yeah, I could not agree more with you. Community building is so important. And I actually have, speaking of community building and food and beverage and sharing recipes, a fun little aside to go with that is that my partner is actually the family that founded the Buffalo Wing Anchor Bar in Buffalo, the
Nice.
Bellissimo family. What skyrocketed though, their Anchor Bar brand, which now has like obviously, if you go to Buffalo, you go to Anchor Bar. Obama's been there. It's famous, right? People know Anchor Bar, they know the Buffalo Wing. The reason it got so big is because they shared their Buffalo Wing recipe on Frank's Red Hot bottles when they first started making buffalo wings. So that was their advertising, right? They just shared the recipe with Frank's Red Hot, which is named after Frank Bellissimo, and that is now skyrocketing their brand. So doing things like that, building a community, and now the Anchor Bar, I mean, buffalo wing is buffalo. When you go to Buffalo, you eat buffalo wing. So that's now part of our culture up here. But I couldn't agree more. That was such a great point you made about the recipes and ingredient community into your brand. Now I'm going to move to some more individualized questions, but they do still have a lot to do with everybody and all of our brands. But DJ, I wanted to come back to you and ask how you incentivize loyal customers to become advocates for your brand. How can you utilize that organic marketing in the most effective way?
So it's a great question. Obviously, you want to look at subscriptions, right? That's a great way to incentivize people. Subscriptions can include points, they can include volume discounts, they can include reminders, time-based reminders, unboxing experience. This is something that I think a lot of brands really, really miss. Now, if you go back, if anybody's ever read Delivering Happiness by Tony Hsieh, the Zappos story, famous internet marketing book. If you're in e-commerce, that's really a must read, because what they pioneered was free shipping both ways. Now, they didn't discount, they had full price. People were more than pay the full price because of the user experience. Oftentimes, they would include handwritten thank you notes. They might include, for example, if they talk to that customer and they love Star Wars, they would send them Star Wars tickets. You know, these little things that were very personalized, very relevant, and a surprise. There's always a wow factor, right? Even just getting a handwritten note from your customer service representative saying, thank you so much for your purchase. It was great talking to you. Now, every rep had a pile of note cards on their desk. So they could just quickly write out a quick little note, hand sign it, and then give it to shipping and it would go with those shoes. So unboxing is important. QR codes. Okay, if you've got a thank you card, a QR code you can scan, it can be a welcome video from the founder CEO. It can be a how to use, how to install, how to set up, how to get the most value out of this product. It can include a free sample of a related product.
Yeah.
It could include a gift card, not a discount. There's a big difference between a gift card and a discount. Psychologically, a gift card, a discount is something everybody gets. A gift card is also something that can only be used, obviously, with your store, but people feel like they already have the money.
Yes.
You see, with a discount, oh, now I have to spend money to get it, right? But a gift card psychologically says, I just gave you $10 or whatever the denomination is.
Yeah.
So gift cards logically very, very important. We talked about note cards, samples, anything that's going to create a wow factor. And people just love surprises. People love gifts. So don't forget about the unboxing experience. Very, very important. And by the way, with that QR code, you can remind people, please leave us a video review for this product or leave us a review for this product. And if you'd like to talk more about your seller experience or your store review, please do so as well. And that QR code, of course, can take them to the review platform. Another thing you can do with that video is talk about related products. Oh, congratulations, you have the ABC widget. There's 3 other products that enhance the experience or the value of this product. Let's just say, for example, you bought a bed. Well, what about nightstands? What about lamps? What about dresser? Right? So here's some related products. Maybe you don't think about the time. Oh, and by the way, here's a gift card. Right, to buy related products. So lots of upsells, cross sells, creating LTV, lifetime value. And then speaking of LTV, think about your RFM, recency, frequency, monetary value. Every customer is not equal. One customer might come and buy one time, you never see them again. You want to look at the recency, frequency, monetary value. And by the way, Shopify has that in the database. You just have to go and look at it.
Yes.
And then send gift cards to those people that have created the greatest, monetary value. But also look at people that, oh, this is typically a 60-day product. It's 90 days and they haven't refilled. Let's send them a reminder and maybe a gift card to buy that product based on the frequency, the average purchase of that product. So getting into the science, and then of course, ask your sold customers, what kept you from almost not buying? Ask your sold customers, your sold customers, what kept you from almost not buying? Your unsold customers, why didn't you buy?
Yeah.
What could we have done to change your mind? because it might have been a UX issue, a UI issue, a shipping issue, who knows what, right? But if you don't ask the questions, you simply don't know how to fix the problem. So those are some things I'd recommend. And by the way, I wanted to build on something Chirag said about earlier in the purchase intent. So
Mm,
it's very, very important. SEO, PPC is all great. Traffic's great, but all traffic is not created equal. You want to
right.
make sure that you're driving traffic that has a high purchase intent. So product-related questions, product-related, does it do this? Does it float? Is it waterproof? Does it
Mhm.
come in blue? That
Mhm.
kind of a thing. Those should be coming up in your top search results. And we have a search optimized Q&A tool to do that, to make sure you show up in those featured snippets. And of course, look at your Google Search Console. How many of you see, is ABC legit? Is this product legit? Is this website legit? Very
Mhm.
search term. And that's where your reputation comes into play. So make sure you're optimizing for, is this product legit? Is this company legit? Because that is a bottom funnel, high purchase intent query that if you don't answer that correctly, you're going to miss out on a lot of revenue.
I can tell you right now that I already have ideas for my own marketing from based on what you said. Much to George's chagrin, I'm going to be messaging him later being like, I have so many ideas based on this conversation. So DJ, I cannot thank you enough, first of all, for that extremely amazing response. And also to add on to that, QR codes, not thanks to the pandemic, but like because of the pandemic, have become almost ingrained in our culture now because of people shifting to paperless menus. I mean, everything was a QR code, at least in New York City when I lived in 2020. So now people are just more ingrained to know how to use them and to be more familiar with them. So that is a great point about adding those as well. It makes it easy.
Yeah, put them on your web pages, put them in your collateral, put them in your inserts. We have in our book a QR code at the end of every chapter that takes you to a video about that chapter.
Oh my God,
Exclusive
amazing. I love that.
interviews, bonus content, right?
Yeah.
All kinds of things that aren't in the book,
Yeah.
because you want to create that engagement. You want to create that community, right? We talked about community earlier. Well, if you can create engagement and extra value and that wow factor and the surprise, oh wow, they're giving me something I didn't even know I was going to get. Well, now you've just created a win. You've created
Yep.
trust. You've created reciprocity. If we're talking about behavioral science, right? The reciprocity principle gives something to people that's unexpected and they didn't even ask for, and then they're going to like you more, trust you more, and want to do more business with you.
A 1,000,000,000% agree. That is so important. Before I move on to my next little question, does anybody have anything to add about that incentivizing customers to become advocates for your brand? I know it's, what every brand really wants. Nikita, go ahead.
Yeah, just a couple things to add on to DJ's points, because he almost stole the words right out of my mouth. A couple of things that you can do on the email and SMS side to directly implement this is,
Hmm.
we have a list, like a segment that we set up within our clients' accounts, that anytime they hit a certain LTV threshold, they get a little bonus surprise that a client can send out to them. It could either be a gift, account credit, um, free shipping on their next order, whatever sort of incentive that doesn't really affect your margins that much, but means so much to the customer. We try to apply that with every client, because at the end of the day, these people are high frequency purchasers.
Right.
And if they keep purchasing and you're kind of like incentivizing them a little bit more, they're just going to love the brand even more. And uh, to the previous question, they're just going to become a bigger advocate for your brand, and they're kind of spreading the good word about the brand without much marketing spent to begin with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I I am one of those people. If I get a text and it's like, oh, like, write an Amazon review and we'll send you a free this, I'm like, done. I'm there. I'm doing it. So I'm the prime target for that. It works. And then I'll tell my
And you
friends,
could,
hey, you want a free thing? Do this thing.
yeah, and you could build on that. What Nikita said is, if they're a high LTV client, or high potential value because they bought the product that generally leads to high LTV clients,
Hmm.
send them a physical birthday card with a note and a little gift card, right? Because
I
who
love
gets gift cards in the mail anymore? Who gets birthday cards in the mail? Grandma used to send them,
Yes.
but grandma might not be around anymore, right?
Oh,
So if you send that physical birthday card, it's like, oh, you remembered me. Wow, this is amazing. Again, a chapter out of Delivering Happiness from Zappos.
I love that. Well, I mean, I could talk about this all day, but I mean, we have other aspects of this to move on to, so I'm going to move forward. But I'm already getting ideas from this conversation that I'm going to bring into my own work day tomorrow. Um, George and Chirag, I have a question that I think applies to both of you. When working with multiple marketing channels, paid, organic, and loyalty, how do you maintain simplicity in strategy execution while also ensuring measurable, results? Oh, who's going to go first? I
I'll
wonder.
jump in there.
There you go.
So I think having a consistent thread across all channels is very important. You have to make sure that you have really good uh, all the platforms that you're doing is consistent. You have to make sure that the story that you're telling through your Google Ads is the same as the story you're telling on the landing page, is the same as you're telling over on Instagram with the organic side of things. And you have to have a way to log all of that and to make sure that when you update some aspect of what you're selling, what you're providing, that you go in there and that's updated quickly, that you don't end up, because it's happened before where I go in and I'm like, wow, we've got 3 campaigns that have just been on autopilot for a year. I can't believe we're still telling people this is what we do. You have to continually be fine tuning
Mhm.
that. And you also have to make sure, especially when it comes to the loyalty side of things, what is it that people are telling? The more data you can get from your customers, the more, like even with customers that are canceling, we have a SaaS platform. When customers are canceling, I love the feedback that we get when it's like, hey, what is it that you're moving on for? And usually it's, hey, we don't need the service right now.
Right.
Occasionally it's, hey, I thought it was going to be this, it ended up being this. That's not what we were looking for. And then we'll dig around and we'll say, why would they have thought that when they were signing up for it?
Hmm.
But constantly making sure that the story that's being told when they're in a demo is the same as the story they were told when they initially saw the ad, that was what they were remarketed to, right down to the experience they have all the way through. If you don't have that consistent thread, everything just falls apart at some point, and you might not even realize why it's falling apart, because
Right.
customers don't always come out and tell you, hey, I saw an ad 2 months ago and it made me think it was going to be this. Sometimes they'll just cancel, be upset, and not tell you what it is. So it's important to follow through with that.
Couldn't agree more. I think it is really important to make sure your brand image and your message is consistent across everything. Rob, go ahead. I'm sure you have something to add about this topic.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a very fundamental question, I would say, because uh, if we don't measure something, we don't know how to improve that, right? And the most of the times, more than that, it is very much important to know what to measure. So I'll
Yeah.
give you example. If your company is making horse cart, let's say we are in like 1850, 19 eras, right? Uh, and you say that, okay, we are into making horse cart. Your metric would be like, okay, number of horse carts that we produce every month or whatever, right? Because you
Yeah.
said that you are into building horse carts. But wait a minute, if you say that we are into transportation business, moving a human being from one point to other, you may be alive right now as well, because now you will start building cars, because you are
Right.
into transportation, not into just building horse cars, right? So the first point there is, what is the north star metric? What is that one thing that we deeply care about? Why do we exist? Now
Mm-hmm.
once that is defined, uh, the second thing is obviously all the efforts that we need to put in a way that we know the ROI on the each activities. Now some activities we will never get the ROI. Those are like, let's consider the branding activities per se.
Mm-hmm.
Some activities we have a straightforward ROI. Now I think the answer is in your question itself, Sarah. Maintain the simplicity. We
Yeah.
don't use any fancy tools. We use simply Google spreadsheet. All of our marketing team members are in just one spreadsheet, and we have the type and the subtype. And whenever we start any activity, we define that, okay, what should be our trigger point where we consider this activity
Mm-hmm.
a stop or a pause and iterate, or
Mm-hmm.
continue doing that. That's it.
Wow.
And
Yeah.
so everybody is in that spreadsheet. They all work throughout the day, and at the end of the day they put all their updates, right? Okay, I went to Reddit, I talk about this thing on this post, or I did this thing, or we ran these advertisements, here is what we get, etc., etc. So everybody, first of all, everybody is on the same page, because it's only
Mm-hmm.
one spreadsheet. No more
Mm-hmm.
than one spreadsheet is allowed,
Mm-hmm.
because going here and there takes a lot of cognitive load, right? And once the measurement is there, once we track, and by the way, another thing is, I had this thing in my mind that we should have the automation everywhere. But then at some point, I changed my mind and say that, okay, automation is not good for some reasons. When we ask people to manually enter all those numbers into spreadsheet,
Mm-hmm.
they be aware about their work impact.
Mm-hmm.
And if it is all automation, somewhere the detailings are getting lost.
Right.
So this is by design, and by strategy, everybody manually enters those numbers, that okay, I got uh, this many signs up, etc., etc., from this post, etc., right? And then once in a week or 2 weeks, we all sit together, we understand, we think about it. Okay, we thought that this could happen, but in this case more than that happened, or in this case didn't happen at all, etc., etc. Okay,
Right.
as I said, three things, right? Either stop it, or pause it, or reiterate the strategy, or continue doing that.
Yeah. Yeah, I love how simple that is. I also love spreadsheets. My whole team works off of spreadsheets. So I'm right there with you with the simplicity of maybe foregoing something like an AI tool and kind of just sticking with what you know and keeping it very direct. That is also something that has a lot of benefits. And being
Yeah.
able to see everything in one place is fantastic. It provides a lot of value. Thank you, Chirag. Nikita, I have a question for you. And it is, how do you identify and adapt to emerging trends such as mobile first strategies or personalized customer experiences?
Yeah, it's a great question, and that's definitely something that society is more leaning towards, is having a more
Mm-hmm.
personalized experience. For the most part, like 80% of people check their emails and check their, well, you have to check your SMS messages on your phone, but most of the time, like everything is done on your phone. So in order to cater for that, we actually had to do a few things on the email side, like shrinking the email width down from, like if you were to go back 10 years ago, the average email width was about like 1200 pixels, which is
Yeah,
about a normal size for like a desktop. But
right.
now that mobile first is a very, very important thing, we had to half that into a 600 pixel wide email. So now I'm sure if you get an email from like Nike or Adidas or something like that, you see a very, very skinny email on your desktop, but on your mobile, it fully fills
Yep.
that entire real estate. So the whole goal is to cater to that as well, making the fonts bigger, making the images bigger, making everything. I guess it's hard to say like, yeah, just make it easy for mobile, but yeah, just catering like the experience, like the above the fold experience, the below the fold experience, and any
Yep.
other assets that you have in your marketing material to mobile is the, like, it's just going to do you a lot more, as far as rate of return, open rates, click through rates, and of course revenue, when it comes down to it. And as far as personalized customer experiences, I highly recommend whenever you're doing any sort of data capture, whether it's for prospective or for current customers, is to capture as much data as you can without obviously being like naggy. So asking for like your name, your phone number, email, and if possible, a birthday. One thing that we've noticed on our end is utilizing people's birthday as an extra touch point on the retention side. Personalizing any potential celebrations is a really good thing, because it's like, oh wow, they care about me.
Mm-hmm.
They reached out to me on my birthday. There's a little gift or a discount, whatever that incentive might be to help convert the customer again on their birthday, is going to lead to more revenue down the road. And like we mentioned earlier, we want to build that community, build a personalized experience, and that's just another way to do that. On top of that, you can do more personalization through whatever the customer has bought in the past or whatever the customer has been browsing lately. One thing that we're actually testing out right now at Aspect is seeing, like, monitoring how many times a person has viewed a specific product page. And if they viewed it, 7, 8, or 9 times in the last 3 days, we know that that person is interested in buying that product. So sending them an email or an SMS message saying like, hey, we noticed you're checking this out a lot. Here's like what's putting you on the fence on to buy it. or here's a discount code to help you make that purchase if it's something that you're really, really interested in. Because I know
Hmm.
whenever I'm buying something, I'm always looking at that product page or looking through all the reviews and whatnot. So those little tiny incentives can help convert that customer further because it's a very tailored experience to them specifically.
Yeah. I am again a sucker for that. If I'm on, I like buy all my sheets from this company Parachute, and they did that exact thing where I was looking at these sheets and being like, oh, I don't know, like should I spend the money, da da da, and then they sent me like a, we saw you're looking at this. Here's a 20% off discount code, and I was like, done. I'm getting the sheets. So it worked. I am literally everything you guys are talking about. I'm the prime audience. Like it works on me firsthand, and then it's so personalized and it does convert, right? That is a working thing for most people, is to figure out what they want and then incentivize them to buy the thing. um
Exactly. Yeah. I
yeah.
mean, if you were to look back on like your personal interactions, you're kind of just doing that on a mass scale. If someone's like, "Hey, have you seen this Netflix show?" and it's, or you need to check out this Netflix show, and you're like, "Okay, cool, I'll check it out." And then a week later, they're like, "Have you seen it?" You're like, "No, I'm thinking about it." Then 2 weeks later, "Have you seen it? It's really good." And you kind of have this with your friends and your
Yes.
family, but on like a business to customer side, you're similarly doing that same thing of like, "Hey, you really like this. It seems like you like this. You should probably buy this." Or what do we need to do to make sure that you enjoy this product and actually buy it?
Yeah. You're exactly right. I do that to my hound, my friends. Right now it's about the Lord of the Rings. I'm trying to get them all to watch the first season so that I can talk to them about the second season. So I'm
Yep.
really on their butts about that. um, I have so appreciated this conversation. We are going to move to some audience questions. And if you asked a question and we do not get to it, please know that it will be answered in our LinkedIn thread later in the day, actually. So make sure to follow Finch on LinkedIn, and you will see our lovely panelists' responses to any questions we do not get to today. So the first question I actually have for all of you is, can you share an example of when you had strategies that loop together paid organic and loyalty-driven programs that had a significant impact? So is there a example from your own brand or your own business where you actually put this strategy into play and it had either a result you expected and beyond, or the opposite, and it didn't turn out the way you wanted it to, and what you learned from it? um, I'm looking around at faces to see if anybody wants to talk first, if anyone has anything in their brain. I feel like Nikita, you're unmuted straight away, so go ahead.
Yeah. One of the things that we've been doing in the past for some of the brands that we manage is having paid tie into like as like another channel to get people onto the email list, whether
Mm,
that is providing some sort of value or resource through an ebook, recipe books like we talked about earlier, any informational any information that leads to the customer getting a better experience and a good first impression from your brand. Like if you're
mhm,
selling hiking backpacks, it's you're sending them a guide to like the best hiking trails in America or wherever they
right.
might be. If you're selling clothes, it's styling guides, how to style your product with their wardrobe. So those kinds of things where you're getting them on paid social and
Mhm.
or either Google Ads, Facebook ads, Instagram, TikTok, whatever it is, you're getting that attention first from there, but then you're transitioning them into someone that follows your brand more often through the value add that you provide to them.
Yeah, absolutely. And I know DJ was right there with you with that unmuting, so I'm sure he's gonna have something to say and add on to
I,
that.
I was trying to beat Nikita, just a little bit
I
competitive here.
saw.
No, not at all. Well, you asked the question, did we actually launch a campaign ourselves, right, that had an integrated strategy?
Mm,
And yes, so we eat our own dog food. We are a review company, a reputation management company, and we
mhm,
also engage heavily in reputation management. So we ask our clients to send us reviews to other open review platforms. So like G2,
mhm,
Capterra, which are in the B2B, software SaaS space. They actually do
mhm,
ratings reviews for SaaS companies. Trustpilot, Better Business Bureau, Google Business Profile,
mhm.
SiteJabber, et cetera. So because we are proactively asking for reviews, and they're not gated, they're not manipulated, they're not
Right.
gamed one at all. But the beauty is because we're doing that, when you do a search for shopper approved reviews, we own page one. We're the highest rated review platform on the review platforms, even on
Wow.
our competitor sites like Trustpilot,
Wow.
um, because we are proactively asking for reviews in volume. And we know statistically that companies have very positive reviews statistically. Otherwise, you wouldn't be in business. So you can't be afraid of an occasional negative review. In fact, negative reviews are a good thing because then people see you're honest, you're transparent, you're authentic, you're responding, et cetera. So creating that in the organic search results, and then of course if we want to do paid as well, and then driving people to your review page where people can
Mm-hmm.
read your reviews. Again, authentic, transparent, nothing's gamed, nothing's manipulated, nothing's gated or deleted. It's just
Mm-hmm.
all there. Creates a lot of trust. I also wanted to build real quickly on the North Star. A lot of people that Chirag said, a lot of people get obsessed with conversion rates or volume, but to me, the North Star is revenue, net revenue for a product or category, right? Because if you're driving high conversion rate and high volume on a loss leader, you could be putting yourself out of business,
Right.
right? You've got a 40% conversion rate, and you're selling thousands of them, but you're losing 5% on every sale. So it's not
Right.
about conversion rate, it's not about volume. It's about what are the products that are driving net profit. And I don't mean margin. An 80% margin could be $2, or an 80% margin could be $100.
Mm-hmm.
So really focus on what products are driving the highest net profit in dollars, and focus your business, your strategy, your SEO, your PPC, your CRO, your landing pages on that, because that's the money that goes to the bank.
Yeah. I mean, what an excellent point. And I love you building on the North Star comment from Chirag, 'cause that was also super insightful. George or Chirag, do you have any campaigns that you're unmuted straight away, George, that are coming to mind?
So something that we did a little while ago that worked out well and had some results that surprised me. Or we have reviews, we have lots of written testimonials, but
Mm-hmm.
we wanted to have some like physical social proof. And we reached out to some of our heavy users. We didn't cherry pick too much. Like we just reached out to people that were using our service and said, "Hey, would you jump on a call?" Sarah was heavily involved in this. She handled the interviews with the people, but just jump on a call. Tell us how you use Flocksy. Tell us what you like about it. And actually having people in front of a camera talking about their experience, people got emotional. People were like really heavily invested in certain aspects of what we do in a way that it surprised me to a certain extent. It was just really refreshing to see people saying it. And we then took that, created SEO content, organic content from that, but we also pushed that in a lot of paid platforms. But the beauty of it is we were able to show the results right alongside that they got. So when they're saying, "I loved the social media ads that you created for me," we were able to just show, "Hey, here's the social media ads." So it's not like it's the person saying, I love the results I got, but then the person that's seeing the ad can also see what those results are and decide for themselves if they think it was good work. And it worked really well. And people really, it resonates with people when they're seeing actual customers talk about things. It resonates with people when they see actual content. And you also have to have a lot of it too. We didn't just do one or two of those interviews. We did a bunch of them so that you can go and you can see across many different demographics, across many different industries. Here's what we do. Here's the experience real people have. Here's how it would apply to your business. And that worked out really well. And those ads convert better than just about anything that we put out there that would just say, "Hey, here's us saying our value proposition." Letting your customers speak up in a way where people know that it's authentic is really powerful.
Yeah, I can attest to the fact that people were very emotional in a way that also surprised me, where I was then like, I was getting emotional, like watching people get, teary eyed talking about how they would be up till midnight before Flocksy just trying to create content. And now, they can actually spend time with their families. I think that was the first campaign I ever did with you guys. And I immediately fell in love with Flocksy. And I was like, I love this company because our clients love it so much. So I could not agree more with you. Chirag, do you have any campaigns that are coming to mind for you?
Born and brought up in India, when we talk about review, it's a totally different mindset than the rest of the world. That's what I learned running FitSpace. Uh, And so I always have a fight in my mind between these two brains.
Mm,
Like, what is the authenticity when we talk about authenticity, right? Is
mm-hmm.
that if, okay, there is no bribing here, nothing like, okay, do the review, I'll give you 50. Even though we don't do that, and if you ask somebody the review, there is this little bit of thing inside your mind that, okay, you gotta talk because of any other reason. So just an experiment that we have been doing recently, I wanted to share with all of you here, is what if that, you know, in the physical world, when you are doing a business, let's say you have a shop, and then your customer is talking to their neighbor saying that, hey, I bought this from this shop, I think that's the best review. Now in the internet world, if you think about, let's say you're running YouTube channel, or you build a SaaS product and you launch it on Product Hunt, right? And if you launch it on Product Hunt, obviously people will smash you and put all sort of comments. Forget about review, because when it says review, you got to put a star and all this thing, right? But when it is comment, you are being very raw. You
Mm,
just go with the flow. You
yeah.
just put what is in your mind, right? Now in my mind, if I compare, that is more closure to having that authenticity than anything else. It's just me. I can be biased as well, I don't know. I'm just doing an experiment. It's
Mm-hmm.
working out, by the way. We just recently did that. So one of our features at feedspace.io is that you launch something on the product hunt, forget about all the reviews, capture all the comments, out of which you get your reviews,
Mm-hmm.
because those comments are very raw. And same
Yeah.
with the YouTube. If you're running YouTube channel, right? One of our customer with a 3 million subscriber on her
Wow.
YouTube channel, like, she's bringing tens of thousands of comments. The AI keeps on checking it, and then it gives that, okay, this comments, right, is so raw. It raises a fundamental question about your videos, and it also tells good thing about your videos too.
Mm-hmm.
And as DJ said, that you don't just show the good thing, you also show what people have gone through and all the complaints. I think that matters, because nothing
Yes.
is perfect.
No.
And so in India, few months ago, Amazon started banning the seller's account, and for some weird reasons. That's not a point. So we started posting about that. Okay, if you're a seller on Amazon right now, you better import all of your product reviews in FeedSpace.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, you will lose it anytime. Now, obviously, if you're a seller, you are not just selling on Amazon. You are selling on multiple platforms, right? And that's where the beauty here is that you import all of those reviews from all these other platforms, put it into one page, and then show it off. Now
Mm-hmm.
that is something. Now it's very counter productive to one of our features, by the way, which allows video testimonials, audio testimonials, etc., which we manually ask others. So it's kind of like Coca-Cola and Coke is also releasing another brand with a different color and all that, right? So two features are fighting each other, which
Mm-hmm.
is owned by actually FitSpace. So that is something going on right now. We have been getting a good response on that line, that import your reviews before you lose that.
Yeah. I'm sure you are, because that is very crucial to, especially on Amazon. Someone the other
Yeah.
day asked me, I said I was taking a new multivitamin, and they were like, "Oh, which one?" And I was like, "Whatever one had the highest reviews on Amazon." Like, I can't even remember the product name, but I remember it was the one most highly rated. So I was like, just look for that one. That's the one I'm taking. So yeah, I could not agree more with that. That strategy seems like it would work for sure. Especially, and we've talked about this, George and DJ and Nikita. I'm sure you all would agree with me in saying that we talked about this in session 2, where when I see a company that has perfect reviews, like just 5 stars, I almost don't trust them because exactly like you said, Chirag, there is, oh, you could be the ripest peach on the tree, but someone's not going to like peaches. There's going to be somebody who doesn't agree with something, or came in and thought one thing and it was another. So when I see someone, a company's got like 4.7 or 4.8 on Google or wherever, that makes me trust them more, because I know that they're not filtering their reviews. It's not fake reviews. There are people coming in and complaining, but they're responding and they're learning and they're growing. So I could not agree more with you. Um, we have actually hit our time limit, and it is flown by. I mean, time flies when you're having fun. So all these amazing questions that we have a couple that weren't answered, we will get to them on LinkedIn, and the lovely panelists will put their 2 cents in for that. Before I do my little closing spiel, does anybody have anything to add about paid, organic, making it all work that they didn't get to cover today?
I would just say, don't worry about your competition and worry about your customers.
Yeah.
There's so much time, energy, money, bandwidth wasted on what's the competition optimizing for? Who cares? They're not your customer, possibly. They're not your avatar. They're not your brand. They're not your value prop. They may not even have the exact same price points or products. And really get inside the head of your avatars, your audience, and understand what they're looking for. And
Yeah.
don't worry about the competition so much. That's what I would like to add.
I love that. That is a really nice sentiment. And for anyone who's looking to grow their brand, I think that's very important. I don't see any more unmuted mics, so I'm going to move forward with my little closing spiel. Thank you, everybody, especially panelists. Thank you so much for taking the time to chat with us today. I think everything you've said is invaluable, and the people who watch this webinar, either live or the recording, are going to learn a lot and walk away with a lot of really useful knowledge and tips. I know I am. I'm walking with a lot of new ideas, and I'm excited to get them started. Thank you to you all. Join us in exactly 1 week, same time, for the last session of our amazing webinar series. It will be about data-driven success using insights to monitor, measure, and to grow. Mike Martis will be back hosting next week with a brand new panel of experts. You can learn more about our series and register for the last session at flocksy.com/webinar. That is flocksy.com/webinar. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm going to play our little outro video, and I hope to see you all again soon. Thank you so much.